Hello, this is Anthony with the smooth sounds of classic jazz. Welcome to Retrograde. Earthworm Jim. Bye.
Oh, I like evil Cockney James. That's fun.
I'm recording that
That's
as
just
well.
how I speak.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Retrograde episode number 70. My name is Jack Marshall, and today I'm joined by Anthony Hobday.
Hello.
Lizanne Fisher.
Hi.
And James McFadden.
Hi.
Hey, back once again with the Retrograde Masters, number 70, Big 7-0.
And actually all of us as well.
Yeah, all together.
Hasn't been all of
Except
us for a
for
while.
Tiny
Weird.
Tim, the lesser known fifth member of the crew.
He's a quiet.
He's never coming back.
He can't reach the mic.
He's a quiet participant. You don't hear him much.
Yeah, he's not here much.
I've got an opinion. Shut up.
Well, it's Christmas Day today, sir. Who's got something they want to share? Anything? What's been going down? What's the hip hop?
My half marathon entrant thing, you know the number
Yeah.
you get, that came through.
What number is it?
10,797. Good number, good number.
lucky-
Oh,
number.
Lisanne, all your stuff is always about improving yourself or getting married or doing well in life. Just shut up.
Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
some of us don't have these milestones to gauge our success by, alright?
You're getting a degree this year.
I had a...
You'll finally be a
Tell us-
bachelor.
Tell us about that crack binge you went over the weekend.
It was
destroyed your body.
longer than my last 5. and I lost 3 stone.
But on the back of that, I have a challenge that I would like to issue to you, Jack.
What have I got to do? Half marathon?
Neil and I and our friend Lou have signed up for a triathlon in July.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to
What are you on about? It's
What leg?
easy.
How
It's
long?
easy.
Swimming, cycling, or running? How long?
750 metres swim,
Okay.
which takes about half an hour.
How long's a swimming pool? 50 metres.
Yeah.
Half hour. Swimming for half hour. Can I do a
Yeah.
backstroke?
You do whatever stroke you like.
Okay.
It's in the sea.
He's going to do the jack stroke.
Is that where he makes J's with his arms
You know
as he's
what
going?
it is.
It's a doggy paddle, but much less effective.
It's a puppy paddle.
But yeah, so it's in the sea. So this happens on Shoreham seafront, the whole thing. So it's 750 metres in the sea. Then it's 20k on a bike. 20k on a bike is easy.
Oh, of course it is, yeah.
It is.
It is, yeah.
And then it's a 5k run.
In what order?
That order.
Swim, bike, run.
Yeah.
I would get tired just describing that to someone.
Yeah, that's just a big flat out no. For me.
Really? But you do your tough mudders, like
Yeah.
you like your challenge runs. I thought you'd be up for this.
It's because swimming would... It's the swimming. If you said just cycling and running, I would do that. It's the swimming would absolutely exhaust me. Like, if I do
Really?
4 lengths of a pool, dead. There's like old women. When I go swimming, there's old women next to me just like bobbing up and down going, oh, I love. And I'm like, not really.
Oh.
Pick an apple, put it in your pocket. Pick an apple, put it in your pocket.
What stroke are you
It's
doing?
really hard. Probably front stroke. Obviously, pick an apple,
Front
put it in your
crawl?
pocket. Pick
Oh.
an apple, put it in your pocket. Did
You mean
not
not enjoy
Oh,
it?
I do.
Did no one else learn that? Pick
Jack.
an apple, put it in your pocket.
You may not enjoy it, but you get a lot of apples at the end.
That's my problem. I was swimming in trees.
Oh, I thought you'd be up for it. I thought you'd be up for a challenge.
I'll think about it. I'll have a think about it. I mean, everyone's been challenging recently. Our friend on Saturday Night, Beth, she challenged me to get something pierced. So I've agreed to get top of my ear pierced.
Really?
On the right side up here, yeah, I'm going to get the inside pierced because I've
Why
never had
would
a
you do
piercing.
that?
Because I was sitting at a table with a bunch of people. You know all the people who were there. Everyone had piercings except for me.
Yeah.
I've got 5.
Have
and,
you?
And 2 tattoos, yeah.
Where have you got 5 all in your ears?
2 in one ear, 2 in the other ear, and I got my belly button done.
Right. So I'm going to get it's not called my conch. That's the middle of the ear.
I'm gonna get my cold pierced. Because the people in the pub there went to.
I don't know what voice that was.
Is this going to be up here?
Have you got a
really
safety
small.
pin?
I'm not doing it now.
Oh, we
Do
can
it,
totally do
do
it
it.
now. We can do an on-air
Well,
piercing.
I'm going to go in and she's going to do it for me. Probably not this weekend, the weekend after.
Oh, really?
And if I don't like it, I'm just going to take it out.
So you're going to
Yeah,
get
but
a
you
pretty
also have a
diamond,
gigantic
a
hole
pretty
in your
diamond
head.
stud,
Probably
or
a
are you
tiny-
going to get a hoop?
Probably a skull. No. She was trying to convince me to get like a bridge, which was like a thing that goes across your whole ear.
Yeah, no, I
And
want
was
one
like,
of those,
no
but I'm not
way.
allowed them at school.
I would.
Do
I
you
just
really
wouldn't
want
do
one?
it. It just looked
Oh,
like
they
a
look
clothes
really
hanger.
cool.
Yeah, but that's totally a transient phase. Like, in 20 years, people are going to look back on people.
No, but the great thing about piercings over tattoos, I also have tattoos, but the good thing about piercings is that they heal.
Do they?
Yeah, you just take it out.
Not on the inside.
and then
I
they
don't
heal.
understand
So they're not as permanent as tattoos say.
Jack has his
obviously flesh
headphones
tunnels
on.
are permanent, but I'm looking forward to seeing you with an earring, Jack. I think it's going to be.
Maybe he's
totes
already done it,
hilarious.
and that's why he's wearing the headphone.
No, I'm just wearing headphones so I can make sure I'm getting your levels.
Just
right.
make sure you have the hetero ear, not the homo ear.
I don't know which one's which.
You're just gonna have to. You're just gonna have to hope you get it right.
When I go out, my left ear does feel
Or
a little bit more
left.
gay. It is the left ear. It's left ear, isn't it?
That whole
that's
thing
a
doesn't
complete-
exist
That's an
anymore.
urban legend, isn't it?
No,
That's not a
in the
thing, is it?
80s it was a thing, but it's not anymore. It's
I
like
thought
the
it was
handkerchief
I thought it was a
code.
handkerchief in the back pocket.
That's what it is
And,
now.
Like orange meant anything.
Yeah, that's what it is now, but it used to be in the 80s to have
Yeah.
an earring in a particular ear,
Oh.
but not anymore.
Oh, Bants. Anyone else got anything? I got to 98% in Far Cry 4 and gave up. After 3.5 months, I got to the point where there was like my final skull I had to get. It was up a mountain. It would have
Yeah.
taken me like 20 minutes to get there, and I can't be asked for this anymore.
Oh yeah, I found all the collectibles in that game to be just a ridiculous treadmill. Like,
Yeah.
I finished the story and I'm not going to play it ever again.
I
But
got-
you're on 98%. Why not?
Yeah,
just-
exactly,
I got
and it'll
all
take
the
you 20
masks.
minutes to get 100%.
I got all the masks, I got all the posters, I got all the
Really?
animals.
God.
There's a bit in the game where you have to kill 4 rhinos to skin and make a new wallet, which is just, delicious. Love the idea of that. But like,
You don't
just
need that much rhino skin to make it. How many wallets are you making?
don't know.
It's one really big wall.
I think I was
Oh,
just.
is it?
He's put like 5 rocket
Because you
launchers.
could
I was just
probably
using the
make an
toenail.
entire sofa suite out of 4 rhino skins.
Has anyone
and have
done that?
rhino
do you
skin
think?
sofas.
Is rhino skin like a commodity?
No, it's really hard and
The
tough. It's not
horn.
workable.
The ivory is
Horns, though, yeah.
No, it's not ivory, is it?
It's not ivory. Theirs is made out of hair.
There's something else in it that they use for medicine, didn't they?
They use the tusk for
The horn. They think it's like an aphrodisiac or
yeah,
whatever.
but it's their hair.
Yeah, it's horrible as well. Poachers,
Into the horn.
although
Yeah.
they're trying to live
In video games, it's fine. In real life, just don't do it.
Just play Far Cry 4, poachers.
Yeah.
If you're listening to Retrograde. I'm sure they are.
Sure
Well,
they
all
are.
the poachers in Africa.
They're all
Statistically,
sitting
there's
around a
about
camp-
500
sitting around a
poachers.
campfire.
Yeah.
Poachers are like hunters, basically. They're just doing it for, more gains. So they must sit around waiting for a long time. They need podcasts.
There was that guy last year, wasn't it, where he paid a lot of money to be able to hunt a white rhino.
Oh, I remember
Oh,
seeing
yeah.
that.
And they were saying
yeah.
how the money was going to go towards
saving all
white
the other
rhinos.
white rhinos.
So their logic was like, well, let him kill one, but with the money we can save 10. And it's like, that's just pay the money but don't kill a rhino.
Yeah, exactly.
Or just drug it.
Or just kill the rhino and don't pay the money, but commit, for God's sake.
Are we not going to talk about your birthday, Anthony? Yay!
Yeah, my birthday is
When
a
is
thing.
it?
We had your birthday.
I think it's in October sometime.
His birthday was in January.
We
guys.
went bowling. I won. On
Did you?
On my team.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to
team
say
will-
on your own in your own lane.
That's not that impressive.
It's
though,
just
Jack, is
you
it?
on your own lane.
Jack's pretty much the best at bowling.
Oh, Jack wins.
To be honest, that's probably now I was asking people like, if someone's having an event and they said we're all going blank, what would be your blank thing to make you go, oh, I'm so there? Because bowling now is my thing. So I'm good at bowling. I'm not good at many things.
Did you have the rails up?
No, I didn't have the bumpers up because
Oh,
life
well
life
done.
doesn't give you bumpers.
It does if you go to a bowling alley and ask for the bumper.
You should, you
To answer
should
your
write a
question,
film.
mine is wine.
Oh, what
We're all going
to a
wine.
We're going to go wine this time. Come on. Show us what
Let's
you
go
got.
wine.
What about if I said, because I asked Anthony, you said archery, didn't you?
It
Was
just
that
depends
Mark?
if I'm
I think Mark
free.
said archery.
Depends if
It just
you're
depends
free.
if I'm free.
If
Let's
there's
go to
nothing
the
going
prison,
on,
guys.
if I haven't
Well,
got anything
free.
on, I'll go.
But if I said to you, okay, well, we're all going, I don't know, quad biking.
Oh,
I love quad biking.
We should all
I've
go
never
quad
been.
biking.
I've done quad biking. It's amazing.
I've done quad biking in North Africa. It was pretty good.
Have
I've
you?
also ridden. Yeah, I rode a camel in the Sahara
That's
Desert.
not quad biking. A camel isn't a quad bike.
It had wheels, Lisanne. I've got wheels, Greg. Could you milk me?
Who's Greg?
It's a
I
quote.
thought your name was
Oh.
Greg.
Wait.
Oh, what do you mean he was Greg? How is that the thing you ask me if you don't get that quote?
Because if you told me who Greg was, I might know which show you're talking about.
It's a reference to Meet the Fockers.
Oh, right, okay.
Oh, language,
I
you got
haven't
to beat
seen that in
that.
ages.
Get the beeper out.
It wasn't very good. That's why I wouldn't know the quote.
Oh, I see. Do you only remember good things that happen?
Is the four
Yeah.
You must live such a quaint life.
Is the four of
You're mean
us?
to me today.
I'm sorry.
Is it because I'm not sitting next to you and Anthony is? Is that why?
Yeah, you're.
Because normally we're allies.
what?
Physical proximity is
Are you
how
two?
I base my
Are
affections.
you two not in the right seat?
No, Anthony's normally next to you and I'm normally
I
next
really
to James.
wish you hadn't said that now, because that's going to really freak
Did you not
me out.
wonder
only
why
just
Anthony's
noticed.
speaking with a woman's voice?
If the four of us went quad biking, we can make some pretty hilarious puns, you guys.
Could we?
Why? Because there's 4 of us.
And it's quad.
Let's put the
which means
Pedal
4.
to the metal.
No, about 4 and quad, not about.
Did you say pedal to the medal?
I did say medal. I did say
pedal
medal
to
there,
the
yeah.
metal?
I don't know
First
why I
of
said
all,
medal.
why does your medal have a pedal? Second of all, what does it do when you press it? Third of all, what does it do when you press it all the way down to the medal?
Ring, does that?
It reminds you that you won.
Yeah, that's what it does. Gets louder. Just go, you won! James, what have you been doing? Anything interesting?
No.
How'd your exams go?
I'm studying for them.
Oh, I thought.
Oh wait, no, that was last. When did we last speak?
I haven't seen you for ages.
2 weeks
Oh
ago.
yeah,
we
no,
did
it was
Last Express.
good. I got all 2 ones.
No, I was ill for that.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah,
were,
it was decent. It's okay.
2 1s.
Yeah.
Nice, bro.
You got 2 1s all over the shop.
Yeah.
Good
I mean,
work.
I disputed them, but they said that because I only sat 2 exams, 1 was the highest score they could give me.
You got 2 1s.
That took me way
You
too
were
long.
cracking out
I've
dad
only
jokes
just
on Saturday
eaten.
as well. He said so many dad jokes on Saturday
Good.
that it was groanable.
I'm gonna steal that word.
Jeff doesn't speak good.
It really was a groanable.
I think, and I'm also hoping that James has now adopted the dad joke as his humour of choice, because I can enjoy that all day.
I think that most
Dad
people
jokes
don't
are
have a
great.
humor of choice. Do
No,
they?
but you choose. I mean, you might choose to be racist, for example, and make racist jokes. You
that-
shouldn't, but you could.
dry observational humour. That's my humour of choice.
No, you're not, Jack.
Yes, I'm so
Your
dry.
humour is what I would call blundering. Because you do things without
it-
realising how hilariously wrong
Is
they
it
are.
dry blundering?
No,
I'm okay with that.
it's moist. It's moist,
Moist
blundering.
blundering. I'm a moist blunderer.
No, Jack's a very funny man, intentionally as well as unintentionally.
Yeah.
You should give him credit for both.
He has all the
That's true.
funnies
That's true.
How can I be how can I be funny intentionally and unintentionally? So I'm funny everything.
on different occasions.
Not at the same time.
Every joke you tell just has so many
Stuff
layers.
like that makes you so funny because you don't realise.
Damn right. I've got nothing else to share.
Oh, I've got something fun that I'm doing tomorrow, which
Yeah?
will be today because the listeners will be listening to this on Wednesday.
Or it could be yesterday if there's things.
A local
Wednesday.
primary school, I emailed the drama department asking if anyone's fancy going in to their primary school to do a Q&A with their year sixes because they're studying dragons at the moment and they've been emailing a dragonologist and this dragonologist... No.
Right.
And this dragonologist has just returned from the Himalayas and is keen to go in to meet the kids because the kids have found a dragon egg, you see.
Did kids get stupider?
No. But the thing is,
I would have straight away gone to the teacher. What do you mean you were fighting dragons in the Himalayas? Get that out of my face.
Well, no, because I'm going to be that person.
Let's get back to
You're
going
going to
to
be the dragon egg
No, they've had the dragon egg and it's hatched.
into you.
No.
Where do you fit into this story, Lisa?
Into a live dragon.
I was just trying to tell a nice thing that I'm doing tomorrow.
I'm
and you're all
genuinely
being horrible.
bewildered. Honestly.
Lizanne is the dragon expert. She's
I'm the
acting.
dragon expert. I'm going into
Why
this
don't
primary school tomorrow to meet these kids, pretending to be a dragon
You're
expert.
going to put on a voice?
I might do. Probably not. That'd be too hard to keep up.
Why would a dragon expert necessarily speak?
I have wandered from far.
I am, however, borrowing a lab coat from science, and I'm going to put on some hiking boots
Burn
with
it a
my
little
normal
bit.
school clothes.
Put some burn marks on it.
I can't
So-
burn it. I've got to give it back to my friend who's the science teacher.
she'll-
I can't
she'll
give
be
it back with
annoyed.
burns.
So what do you do
on.
to
Get
it?
some.
Just, dragon.
You can get some soot, surely. Soot will wash out. Put soot on it.
That's a quote for the ages.
I don't know why that was so funny.
Wait. Hang on a
But
second.
I just thought it's going to be really good fun.
Yeah, that
It'll be
does sound like
really
a lot of
nice.
fun. But what lesson is this in?
Dragons.
They're primary.
Mythology.
Right, but what are
Primary,
they
they
studying
don't need
at that
education.
moment?
No, they're using.
Classicals.
They've been studying dragons this half term to do creative writing on dragons. They've had dragon themed maths lessons. They've been doing dragon biology. So obviously dragons aren't real, but they've been learning about how the nervous system works in dragons, which obviously can then apply to humans
So
later.
dragons here are like a metaphor for terrorists. That's how they're describing the recent ISIS incidents.
Well, it is a Catholic school,
through
so
the
you
lens
know.
of dragonology.
Taking dragons in a Catholic school. Oh, it's just everything's gone.
Things have changed.
This country's gone down the drain.
Things have changed since we went to
lot
Catholic
awful.
Oh,
school.
St. St.
You lot
George,
are
was it?
awful.
St George fought a dragon.
Yeah, St. George.
Although he
killed a
didn't. He was
dragon.
just drunk in a pub telling people he did. I got asked to go into a school to talk about programming, which I don't program, which is funny, to like a bunch of year 5s and 6s as well. But I found out it doesn't make much of a difference, but it's a very much inner city London school. So now I'm a little bit scared of these kids.
You'll be fine.
But
They have metal detectors.
I've done it before. I've spoken to like a whole room full of like 15-year-olds or something.
Yeah, you definitely.
So
be
don't have metal
nice kid.
detectors. But
They do.
I'm probably gonna like. I don't
They
think
do.
I'm gonna talk to them like adults. And be like, I know you're only 8 years old, but time to learn about life and proper drops and bombs.
I heard that in
They do have metal detectors on inner city London
inner
schools.
city London school. I heard that they stab anyone who tries to talk about programming.
This is true.
Jack, I heard that from a
They're going to
really
hear that you just said, metaphorically,
reputable source.
proper drop some bombs on them. Since it's an inner city London school, they're not going to let you in.
I'm gonna go and go, yo, 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 sup? Let's talk about C+.
C++. You
C plus.
don't go to talk to
Whatever.
kids about programming if you can't name a programming
Let's talk
language.
about C minus.
Who wants some Java?
And one of the kids is like, I wish I could get a C minus. Because he's bad at school.
Oh, clever. But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna go and talk to them because I'm really quite scared.
They're children. You'll be fine.
They've all got flick
You're
knives.
twice their height.
They let switchblades into those metal detectors because they think, what's the harm? They're just using it to eat their food, but actually they're stabbing each other.
Things a comb. But yeah, I don't know. I might just bring in a game and say whoever's the quietest gets to win this game at the end. Shut 'em up. We should go into the competition, shouldn't
Paul
we?
Monahan giveaway.
Paul Monahan giveaway, which
Da-da-da.
last week's winner went mental. We said this big old up caps lock message. I'm the new Paul Monahan. Woo! He's well excited. So that's good.
Was it
Paul
for your
Monahan.
thoughts?
People were asking as well. Someone we posted that like, retweet the Batman tweet to the Batman games, and he was like, and he only just retweeted him. And, who won? And I was like, we gotta wait till the next show. Anyway, Anthony, I'm stealing your thunder.
I was thinking Paul Monahan must be feeling pretty bad because everyone keeps stealing his thunder. By which I mean his identity.
Yeah, but we gave him thunder in the first place.
That's true.
I think he had his own thunder and we stole it and gave it to someone
Well,
else.
his thunder was minimal at best.
Because I'm pretty sure us announcing the next Paul Monahan is legally binding, and that person is Paul Monahan for 2 weeks. I think Paul Monahan loses his name.
Paul Manners not been able to go on holiday for like 2 years.
People ask him for his name.
passport
He's
just
like,
keeps
I can't.
fading.
Nigel Farage just trying to kick him out of the
Yeah, that's
country.
a problem. Yeah.
He says I can't say my name.
I imagine stealing one's thunder comes from like Greek mythology for some reason. Gods stealing each other's thunder or something.
I think the phrase comes from a Shakespeare quote, but
No,
I'm not
yeah,
100% on that.
Could have guessed.
Doesn't
it.
everything?
Shakespeare just made up stuff.
Shakespeare.
A lot.
You're right. So last week, or last episode rather, we decided to give away Arkham Asylum and Arkham City because who doesn't want to be Batman for 20 odd hours?
Yeah.
And the winner, the next Paul Monahan, is Motty Off the Latch, who has won once before, I think.
He's off the latch.
Yeah, Chief Motty 99. There were 98 others who were also Chief before him. But he's the latest and greatest. And
Adam Buxton gag.
we're going to send you the codes for those on Twitter, Motty Off the Latch. So you should get
Well
those
done.
add them to Steam. Play Batman a lot if you haven't already.
Fantastic.
And next episode, we're giving away... It's a bit of a fantasy giveaway.
Ooh.
Lego Marvel Superheroes and Bastion.
Sweet.
Which I think we can all agree are fantastic games. If you like running around worlds and doing fantastic things.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you want to see the
Just like
details...
in real life.
Yeah, well, no, not at all. That's why we play the games. But if you want to
do fantastic things.
go on Twitter, find the details on there. We'll be posting about the games there. You can retweet that, and you'll be in it to win it. But it's at Retrograde Show on Twitter.
I can't think of any Batman jokes. Just when you were saying Batman, I was trying to think of a Batman joke. I couldn't think of any Batman jokes. There should be loads.
Oh,
There are loads. I can't think of any right
Yeah.
now, but yeah.
Knock,
In
knock,
other news,
knock,
I have...
knock.
Who's there?
Batman.
Batman who?
What?
Wait, I'm thinking of what's Batman's favourite bird?
Don't know, Robin?
Yeah. A robin. Even though he doesn't actually like robin.
Are you
that
now
much.
Googling Batman jokes?
No,
Oh.
I have just found out where to steal someone's thunder comes from. In the theatre in the early 1700s, the way they created thunder as a sound effect was by rolling metal balls
yeah,
around
they did.
inside of a pot, which made a thunder sound. But one night, someone pinched them and literally stole their thunder.
A better expression
So
would have
ruined
been,
the play.
A better expression would have been, "You've stolen my balls."
I was thinking it was
That
a.
would have been much better.
Makes a lot more sense.
It would make a lot more sense. Yeah.
I was thinking it was a metal giant and someone stole his testicles, and he came out with the phrase "You stole my thunder," because he previously used them to make thunder for himself,
And
and
the
they
ladies.
stole it, and the ladies, yeah, and they stole it to make it during a play. And he was like, "You
Director's
stole my
license.
thunder. We need it more." Shakespeare's on.
Shakespeare's on.
We need your balls for thunder.
Oh, God.
Alrighty then,
The
we're going to
fun.
be talking about Earthworm Jim. But before we do, let's have a brief blurb on the game from Jedman.
Alright. Earthworm Jim. A reference throughout the show, and now you're actually doing it. No, not that I've actually played this game. Anyway, Earthworm Jim is a 1994 run-and-gun platforming video game developed by Shiny Entertainment and Playmates Interactive Entertainment, and published by Sega. Featuring an earthworm named Jim in a robotic suit who battles evil, created by Doug Nepal and designed by David Perry. The game was released for the Sega Genesis in 1994 and subsequently ported to a number of other video game consoles. The game was noted for its fluid, cartoon-like animation and off-the-wall humor. It was well received by critics and received a sequel, Earthworm Jim 2, in 1995. The game was also inspired non-video game products such as Earthworm Jim television series, a comic book series, and a line of action figures. Despite the popularity of the games, Earthworm Jim, well, his character has slipped into, let's say, relative obscurity. Well, that's my thing. Well, all I have to say is that you guys should do more Crash Bandicoot games. Yippee. See ya!
Thanks for that, Jedman. And if you want to do a VO for us, please just get in contact. You can promote whatever you want. Although we've got quite a queue of people who want to do VOs for us at the moment.
Really?
So
Oh, good.
maybe don't bother. Yeah.
Yeah, too many people don't bother.
Don't bother. We
You won't be on for a while. If it's urgent, it's not for a while.
pitch your
do
voice.
not
Pitch your
contact
voice to us.
No, we can start doing a contest where we pit them against each other in a sort of elimination.
How would we possibly?
It's easy. They all record it,
Yeah,
and
we
they
pick
all
the
send
best.
it in, and then you pick the best one.
Oh, what I'll do is
Well, no,
I'll
because then it forces people to be creative.
No, what you should do is you should layer every single one over the top of each other. and
Yes,
just
no,
play
that's
that.
better. Do
So
that
it's
one.
just
That's a much
That'll,
better idea.
statistically, that is the best voiceover.
And then it'll be, all of them will be exactly the same, and it'll sound like you haven't layered them at all, and it'll come
Yeah.
back to us, we'll just be silent because we're shocked.
Yeah.
at the quality. Earthworm Jim. Da-da-da-da-da. That was the theme tune, by the way. I confirmed it.
I remember that now.
So it's a platforming game. We've done a lot of those.
Mostly due to me.
Mostly due to Anthony picking 2D platform games. What do we think?
Do you want to ask me why I
I
chose
thought you were
it?
going to ask Anthony why he chose it. That's
Yeah.
how we
James,
normally
did
do
you
the
think-
show.
I felt like going off the kind of usual script, but all right,
By just
Anthony.
going,
So,
what do we think?
Well, I think I chose it for the following reason.
Okay.
It was a Mega Drive game, obviously, but
Oh, God.
Played it as a kid and enjoyed it, right?
I think I
So
actually...
your brother had a Mega Drive? Is that right?
And
It
you,
was-
you were allowed to play it
And you
sometimes.
were allowed to play it sometimes, something like that, if I remember?
You know, I've noticed throughout life that every time people start to predict my behaviour is the one time that I'm not being predictable. Just as in this case. It was a Mega Drive game, obviously, but I think I played it first on the PC and
so
didn't
it's-
enjoy it
and
very
it's-
much.
And the SNES. And it got Mega CD version as well.
Yeah, but
Yes,
I think I
correct.
played it on the PC originally and didn't enjoy it that much, so I chose it for this show.
Almost.
But, I mean, it's a bit of an odd one, because it's a bit of I don't know, I call it a cult classic, it's very well received. But it's not, I mean, when people think of platformers on the 16-bit generation that are classics, I think Earthworm Jim, comes a bit further down the list, 12th or something. You wouldn't name it first of all, there's so many other choices.
We've got all
Most
the
of-
Marios and Donkey Kong Country.
Most of which we've done on this show, obviously.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
Earthworm Jim's an interesting one because it obviously went in a different direction. It was going for that sarcastic, laugh at itself humour or design, and I think that's worth talking about.
I don't know what it was going for. By the way, I'm going to come straight out and say I hate this game. I hate Earthworm Jim.
Yeah.
It's crap. I find it's just it's incredibly difficult, but not for the good reasons. In that it's got too much. It's got too much style over the controls. For example, stupid things like just the way you fire the gun in the directions is just painful, and you're awkwardly going left and up and down. And then when you kind of jump, he doesn't instantly start firing because you've got to wait for the animation to finish. And just all the time, it's just constant things of where the animation overcomes the design controls. And it's like, oh, you got to wait for him to like spinning his head and he lands. And you've got that moment, brief second, half a second, where an enemy's attacking you. And it's just shonky. I can appreciate that there's a lot of changes in it. There's levels that are different. You've got the water level and all the other levels and the flying, the special zones and stuff like that. But yeah, I think it's a shonky game. I don't think it's well designed, and I think it mostly gets remembered because it's so crazy and so quirky. Bit better than kind of like Toe Jam and Earl, just bit mental. Bit like, there's cows and there's fridges and stuff, but overall I think the design is shocking. It doesn't deserve to be
right.
It deserves to have been buried like it has.
It kind of sums up.
I've never heard you been so negative about a game, Jack.
Yeah,
I didn't like Earthworm Jim. I didn't like it back in the day, and I don't like it now.
It kind of sums up the vacuous 90s. Ooh, quirky, crazy. Let's put it all in one place. Pizza, haha. Vibe that a lot of stuff from that era has, and it's kind of anonymous. Like, it's just a 2D platformer. It's not really that interesting.
I think it's pretty. Don't get me wrong. I think it looks alright. It looks good, and but yeah, it just boggled me all the time. Like when he's on a chain, he can't jump upwards. What's wrong with you?
What an idiot!
Just all the time, yeah, all the way through controls. But anyway, sorry, carry on, people.
I agree with your point that it's more style over substance. Mainly because I think back in those days, and especially, I mean, I can't think of many on the SNES, but especially on the Genesis, the Mega Drive, I think you got a lot of games that were style over substance. Maybe because they realised the Mega Drive was capable of it, or they sold better. I mean, you get that these days with style over substance, and it's all photorealistic 3D graphics with a not very fun game powering the whole thing. But, I mean, the level design is what got me most. But I do really like the humour and everything. You didn't like the humour, Jack?
I didn't think it was clever. Like the fact that the princess is called Princess What's Her Name, and the fact that at the end of the game she dies when the cow that you launch in the first level lands on her.
Classic.
It was all nice and well and good, but then none of it tied together. Like the first level, you're in a junkyard, and it was all just too nonsensical. There wasn't enough common thread running through it for me.
Right, but I can't remember what game it was. We discussed it.
I liked the bit when the final boss is the goldfish in a tank, and all you do is knock over the goldfish bowl, and that kills him. Not the final boss, but one of the bosses. I thought that was clever. But it was just like trying to pretend like it's been written like the designers were on crack, but it's just become off looking stupid.
There was a platform game we discussed before where I mentioned that the levels seemed like there wasn't a thread running through them. I don't think it was Donkey Kong Country, but it was one of them.
Gunstar Heroes, wasn't it?
I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I thought we unanimously agreed that Gunstar Heroes was the worst platformer ever.
Yeah.
Because Jack's just stated that Earthworm Jim's the worst platformer.
Whoa, I didn't state it's the worst platformer.
Jack has also stated that every single other game we have done is the best game ever.
I just said this one, this is a bit of a crap game.
Right, but I mean,
worst.
There's a lot of platform games that don't really have any ties between their level design, so it's not necessarily that you think is bad.
Well, this is it. The Mario levels are all... especially in Super Mario World, they're all they don't have that much in common. The idea is that they're a planet, yeah, but they're all completely different.
No, but I don't mean because you asked me what do I think of all the quirkiness stuff, and that's the thing. It's not they don't have a common thread. It's just weird for the sake of being weird.
Yeah,
which is sometimes it's fine.
It's like that popular copy and paste story where like the Spork of Doom. You know, the girl who talks about being whatever. I'm so random, ha ha ha. It's like that. It's trying so painfully hard to just kind of surprise you and be quirky and weird that it kind of comes across as a bit gauche and embarrassing. Also, the game you were thinking of was Turtles in Time, I think, where the levels were kind of disjointed.
Yeah,
all across the.
It might well have been, but I think it's a pretty common thread throughout all platformers. They don't have a common thread throughout their levels.
Wow.
Ironic.
Well, no, the goal of the platformer is the common thread running through it, which is obviously to get to the end of the level and then subsequently get to the end of that area, stage, whatever you want to call it, and then defeat the final boss in the whole game.
So why don't you make a platformer with no stages, shake things up a bit?
Wasn't that Gunstar Heroes?
It's just like the list. I've got the list of name of the bosses are Psychro, Queen Slug for a butt, Evil the cat, Bob the Killer Goldfish, Major Mucus, and Professor Monkey for a head.
Wow.
Now they're like, but those are literally like if you gave a 6-year-old a crayon, that's the enemies he would come up with, which is fine, but it's not clever.
I really enjoy Queen Slug for a butt. I want to say that, and Professor Monkey for a head. It's just genius.
Then again, who are they aiming? Who's the demographics? It's not us. It's not
Earthworm
people
Jim
in the year
was a
2015.
cartoon.
Well, this is. I was going to say this for trivia.
Whoa there.
Oh, because I didn't know the game until Anthony put it on the list that we were going to play it. I only knew Earthworm Jim as the cartoon from when I was a kid.
Did you know that Sonic was a video game as well?
Sonic wasn't a cartoon.
So
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know Sonic had a cartoon.
Sonic had like 5 cartoons.
Well, let me
I didn't know that.
let me tell you guys,
And comic
because
books.
there's a company called Playmates Toys, and they had a huge success with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So after Teenage Mutant Turtles, they turned around and said, right, let's get some more franchises going.
Right.
And they said, let's do Earthworm Jim. But they started, which was really bizarrely with Earthworm Jim as a franchise, with the video game first. The video game came first,
okay.
and then the TV show came along. So it was weird because they were starting a franchise, but normally a franchise would start with like a comic book or something like that.
Isn't that what Pokemon did?
Pokemon did
was
all of it at the same time, I think.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pretty
so
sure it
hard.
did the game and the anime at the same time.
I see.
I'm sure they were planning that because I think in Japan they play
Japan.
In Japan.
In Japan, I think they plan to do TV shows and video games, that sort of thing, as a tie-in because they
Yeah.
often get released at the same time.
But I think that's another reason why Earthworm Jim is a bit crazy and mental and stuff like that, because they knew it was going to be a franchise of it. And I think that's also
And
why
it's aimed at kids.
I think that's also why the animation and the level designs as well are very pretty, and they've obviously put a lot of effort into his animations. Is because they were really, really trying to push the character and make him very recognisable.
And they
like,
were trying
"That's
to
Earthworm Jim."
emulate the cartoon, surely.
Well, the cartoon hadn't
Or
come
to
out
pave
yet.
the way for the cartoon.
Yeah, they were trying to set
The
up
animation
exactly
style,
for
because that's the one thing I noticed when I was playing it, was that it looked very, very much like the cartoon, which was very nonsensical, and each episode didn't follow on. They did just do random stuff all the time. I can't
think-
remember that well. I wasn't a big fan of it, but because it was too random.
Yeah. No, I suspect that a company that makes toys for a living and basically because they did a lot of franchise video games as well, like Cool Sport. I think David Perry was working on the 7-Up game.
Virgin Media, Virgin, so probably was, yeah.
So I think a company like that probably knows best how to make a game that they can market rather than a game that's good just for being a game, because there are a lot of great games
That's
that don't
true.
get marketed well and a lot of bad games that get marketed excellently, like this one was, I'm sure. And I think all it really needs is personality and style, and the substance can be left behind, because once people have bought it, they don't really care.
It doesn't matter, yeah, exactly.
It's the same with something like Ace Ventura. I mean, the films, fantastic films. I'd watch them again
Were
and
they
again.
games?
No, they made them into a cartoon.
Oh, right.
I've got The Mask for the SNES.
I remember True Lies had a game on the Game Boy.
I've also got The Hunt for
And
Red
maybe the
October.
SNES. Yeah, the Hunt for Red October had a SNES game. Demolition Man had a SNES game.
But I think a company like this makes, they make those decisions because they know they can franchise it. So I guess
But Earthworm Jim never really did become... It's weird, isn't he? Because he's one of those characters now who... He has disappeared a bit. He's
People
a bit...
describe
I don't know,
Mario.
people still recognise him.
He-
People
I
describe Mario as being timeless. Earthworm Jim is not timeless.
Why not?
Earthworm Jim, because he's very eccentric. He's a worm.
I put
I
him
think
in-
he's too wacky.
I put him in those, like...
He's a worm in a spacesuit.
He's
He-
90s.
Yeah,
He's
he
really
falls into that
90s.
camp of 90s characters, like the Tick, and Eek the Cat, and like the Animaniacs.
Bucky
Banana
O'Hare.
Man.
And Bucky O'Hare and Earthworm Jim, where I don't know, I can't really summarise it, but everyone was just trying to do really almost
Super
like
Ted.
aggressively insane characters.
It was almost, they came across as a little bit sinister sometimes as well.
Yeah.
It's weirdly abstract and disconnected from the real world.
like the biker mice from Mars.
Yeah.
They
And those-
were awesome.
And those shark dudes as well. Remember those?
Shark-
Sharky and George.
No, there was like a big gang of
Yeah.
sharks.
Sharky and George were awesome.
No, it wasn't
Like
Sharky and
roller
George. Though. It was like a
sharks.
gang of
Was it roller
sharks.
sharks?
I can't remember what they were called, but they were
Roller sharks. That sounds amazing.
They had rollerblades. And they were
Yeah,
really
they were on,
muscular.
it was sharks on rollerblades.
They had big
Really?
arms
Honestly,
as
yeah.
well.
Okay, I'll quickly Google it. But yeah,
I had one
everyone
of
was
those toys
aggressive.
as a kid. It was so good.
That's amazing.
So I guess it was, a part of an era, and they realised. I mean, I'm reminded. This game reminds me graphically, at least, of the.
Street Sharks. That was the name. Street Sharks.
Of course.
Why were they on rollerblades?
Oh, I
'cause
recognise
they
them
were
now.
a gang.
I saw them.
Yeah,
I
but why on
recognise
rollerblades?
Because they got around faster.
Yeah, but no gang on earth
rollerblade-
rides rollerblades unless they're
rollerblades
kids.
were big in
Why are
the
they
90s.
sharks would be the question.
I mean, why sharks? Sharks are obviously going to be rolling around in gangs.
Because I'm sorry, because if you were in a pitch meeting, they were like, right, I'm going to make a gang on rollerblades. Or, whoa, rollerblades. That would the bit that you'd have fallen over at. But the
No, 'cause
sharks
sharks are awesome.
carry on.
Sharks are awesome, whereas rollerblades are a bit wimpy for a gang. They should have motorbikes, like biker mice from Mars. They didn't have
Maybe they should have
rollerblades.
knives and go out stabbing as well, because that's not wimpy.
They
got
don't need, they've got
teeth.
teeth.
Most
They're
dangerous
bitey.
animal in the
Clearly,
sea.
you guys
Jack.
are in this bitch. You guys are like, oh, okay, I'm seeing it. You thought about this a lot more than I have.
Drop the rollerblades. We've got a winner here.
The whole episode should just be them on land, like
Make
flapping
it-
around, about to die. Going,
They get biker sharks from Venus. We can go against those Mars jerks.
That works because of Shark Week. That told them Venus being for women.
No,
That
I
works.
didn't. I wasn't even
That works.
planning that, and it shouldn't work for that reason because you can't market something based on that.
Well, no, you can't. Well, tampons.
Andy, you were going to
Nothing but tampon adverts.
you were going to say something about Earthworm Jim.
Yeah, I guess all these companies realized they could just rely on style rather than substance, and they could sell a lot of
I
copies.
hate it when these goddamn corporate shills keep relying on substance to sell their product.
But it reminds me of like the graphical style is something I saw a lot in other Mega Drive games, which was that sort of, I guess because they're all based on cartoons, that very smooth style that wasn't really suited to platformers at all.
Yeah.
And you saw like in games like Aladdin, if you bought the official licensed game, which was a pretty decent game, but it was also very Lion King as well.
Yeah, again, both by Virgin.
Yeah.
Capcom might have done Aladdin, I think.
Yeah, I think they did. I know because there was two versions of Aladdin. One was good, and one was
yeah.
not so good. But I had the probably not so good one, so I'm not sure. But they sort of made this very cartoonish style, and it didn't lend itself to platforming very well at all. Because when I look at the levels in Earthworm Jim, I can't tell what I'm meant to be walking on.
Yeah.
Nor can I tell, for example, those tyres in the first level, great example, that are meant to be bounced on.
And you can't shoot while you're bouncing on them.
And I think I'm going to
drove
drive
me
past
nuts.
them because they look like they're in the background. There's not enough distinction. Whereas something like Mario, you never...
Yeah.
Well, when you actually look at
you know
when you
what
actually
you
look
can
at
stand
Super
on.
Mario World and his animation, he's very blocky. Like he's in a solid block, and I think that's because you are trying to time your jump. It's all about precision.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously substance and style delivered perfectly because Nintendo knows what it's doing.
Yeah.
But it's similar to... the graphics are smooth in a similar way to Donkey Kong Country, but no one was ever playing Donkey Kong Country thinking, I don't know if I can jump on that.
We did
So it
we
was
did
done.
in the Donkey Kong Country episode say that actually we would fall off the edge of platforms.
I don't think so. It's
Very,
quite
that's-
but not
yeah,
as
but that's
bad as Earthworm
controls.
Jim.
Yeah, but you always knew when a
That's
tire
not-
was a tire, you know?
Yeah, you knew when you could bounce
It's not
on
like this
stuff.
crazy word.
No, I see what you mean. Donkey Kong Country was loose, and you didn't know whether you'd be able to land it because it was difficult to control as much as Mario was or something. But in this, you can't tell what you can walk on. Whereas
Do you think there's a platformer that's managed to do a really good trade-off of graphically it being very stunning and visually animation really nice, but there hasn't been a trade-off in terms of precision and accuracy of the platforming?
maybe modern platformers, because obviously a lot of indie
Super
games.
Mario
have-
Galaxy.
The best one is
Galaxy games are amazing.
Super Meat Boy because it's pretty and perfect.
It's very stylistic.
And
though.
ridiculously hard.
It's very stylistic though. It's not like graphically complex. It's very simple. They've styled
But
it very well.
I think it's just detailed enough. I mean, there's a lot of fairly intricate geometry, and it's all like crystalline. Like you know exactly where each edge is to the
Definitely.
millimeter.
But I think Donkey Kong Country is probably the best example I can think of.
Yeah, I'd
of a game that
I think so.
looks more natural, but is also clear where you can be, jumping and landing.
Have you played the new ones? Donkey Kong Country Returns.
Freeze.
There's Donkey Kong Country Returns, and then Donkey Kong Country Returns Tropical Freeze. Is
Meant
two.
to be very good. Meant to be very
They
good.
are amazing. They're visually absolutely stunning, but just as
The,
difficult to control in places as
I had
the
the one-
originals.
I had the one on my GameCube with the
The bongos.
I was going to say congas, but that's not it.
The bongos. That was a great game.
I had the one you control by congas as well. You have to all get in a line and dance
Nice.
and to control the characters. It's
I played
pretty
a
hard.
demo
guys
of that at
who,
a games convention once.
The conga one or the bongos one?
The bongos one.
Oh, the conga one's good. And
Oh,
at a
is
games
it?
convention, you got enough people to make
Yeah.
it work. Yeah, you need at
But
least
you don't
30.
want to get too close to
The
them.
guys who make those
Don't
Donkey
go
Kong
bongos.
games are called Retro Studios. They're based in Austin, Texas, and they're kind of heroes of mine. I think they're not heroes, but they're one of those studios that everyone should always be definitely looking out for what they're going to do next, because they did all the Metroid Prime games, which were brilliant. Then they've done Donkey Kong Country Returns, Mario Kart 7, and then the other Donkey Kong Country games that you're saying. So they're a studio that's like, you should definitely be looking out for
They're
what they
a,
do in
um,
their next project, because
are
they're
they,
fantastic. They haven't yet done a bad game, like
They-
below like 85%.
Are they a Nintendo second party or are they?
They
independent?
are Nintendo third party, to be honest. I don't think they're owned by Nintendo. They're
Third
retro.
party. Well, no, they must be if they're doing nothing but Nintendo games.
Yeah, it's weird because Nintendo have been licensing out their IPs to these guys to build it.
Ah,
Well, they obviously trust them to do it.
Yeah, let me quickly check, but I don't think they're owned by Nintendo at
They
all.
didn't use them to do Mario Kart 8.
They're using to be Mario Kart 7, not 8.
Yeah, Mario Kart
8 would be
7
done
was
in-house.
the
There's
3DS, right?
Too much cost risk to, if they screwed it up, it would just be too damaging.
Well, yeah, they needed it to sell the Wii U, didn't they?
They're releasing the Metroid Prime trilogy remaster thing soon. I never played them when they came out, but they got really good reviews. So I might. Oh no, it's Wii U only. All these reasons to buy a Wii U, but not enough.
Wii U's awesome.
Yeah.
I love my Wii U.
The Wikipedia article
It's
says
brilliant.
parent is Nintendo from 2000 to present. So yeah, maybe Nintendo did buy them in
Second
2000.
party, yeah.
So yeah, I think so, you're right.
Nintendo's not the sort of company that usually farms out its stuff to
No, I
third
guess so.
parties.
Although they gave like Boom Street, put Mario Kart in that Boom Street game and gave it to like, because they've got sometimes have a good relationship with who are the guys who made Kingdom Hearts.
Square Enix.
Yeah, they have a good relationship with those guys. They seem to license out some of their IPs to them sometimes. So I don't know. It's mixed.
James, earlier you were saying that Mario's timeless, but Earthworm Jim isn't. And I think I think Earthworm Jim could have been timeless if they'd carried on making fantastic games like they have with Mario. I don't think Mario would be timeless now if they hadn't kept making solid games starring him.
I disagree, because the origin of design comes from two very different places. I mean, Earthworm Jim is a fairly detailed, very 90s concept, but Mario was an abstract,
I see what you mean.
detailed. I mean, the little picture of a pixelated plumber, that to me doesn't speak to a specific decade, whereas the Earthworm Jim character is painfully 90s.
I thought you meant just as a character who will be remembered, but you mean like the concept, the direction they're going with the aesthetic
you
and
can
everything.
elaborate on Mario to whatever extent you want, but Earthworm Jim is already formed in a lot of ways that keep him locked in it.
I'd be interested to see what Lizanne says about this in terms of characters, because Earthworm Jim as well is weird, because the story is that he was a worm where a suit from space fell on him and he got powers to become a human, and everyone's trying to steal him off him. But
now, is that possible?
No, but it's interesting as a character, because I don't know. I'm trying to think how characters in like TV shows and stuff like that. Like, I feel like I want to say that people watch TV shows because they want to see kind of like a loser sort of thing, and Earthworm Jim was like really powerful and fighting people off. I don't know, it's weird because he's a hero but he was a worm.
It's the superhero idea.
Is it just
isn't
literally
it? Like Peter Parker got bitten by a radioactive spider,
yeah, that's true,
to become a superhero. Nearly all superhero origin stories go stuff coming from space.
It's not as relatable when it's a worm.
No, but that's
Do you know what I mean?
No, but it's the superhero concept, and then they're just making it ridiculous for kids.
Yeah.
Like the Tick.
Like the fact that, like the Tick. It's
So
the fact that Earthworm Jim whips the enemies with his own head.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Do you think Earthworm Jim is that character of like, he got the suit? Do you reckon that's got lasting appeal, or is it really just his kids that can?
Well, I don't know. Ask Marvel and their billions and billions and billions of dollars they've made on the superhero genre.
But that's
huge.
Conjectured,
that hasn't gone away.
But that's conjectured to what James is saying, where he thinks it was very 90s and just a boring fad for kids. This character design.
Well, I
Wait, are you talking about the character design or the superhero concept?
No.
I thought you were talking about the superhero concept.
I'm talking about Earthworm Jim
specifically.
Yeah.
Oh no, of course it doesn't have legs.
Hey.
That was a great joke.
Except in this game he does.
Because of the suit.
Yeah, it's the whole concept.
Inside the suit, he's still just a worm.
Yeah.
But
So
he's
why
able
does
to
he-
control the suit.
Yeah, we got the joke.
No, I wasn't explaining the joke. I was explaining how the suit works.
So why do you think he's not got legs in terms of his character?
Why do you have such intimate
Because
knowledge
it's
of
a
his
rubbish
suit?
idea. Because I watched the cartoon.
But I don't see what's the difference between Earthworm Jim and Spider-Man.
Well, Jack.
Apart from the fact that
Jack.
it's a human who got bit by a spider, this is a guy.
Jack, I don't think it's
worm.
a huge difference
They're not-
in concept. It's a difference, well, not concept, but it's a difference in how well they're designed.
It's execution.
I mean,
And it's
we've
not as
already-
well designed.
We've already talked about character design and that it's inherently 90s and you can't get away from it.
But what does that mean, inherently 90s? Inherently 90s.
Aspects of the character design remind you of things that were popular in culture in the 90s. The garish colours, the fact that his face is... The specific points of detail on his face.
The fact that it's a worm in a spacesuit.
Even the aesthetics of the suit are 90s.
It's
because
a
it's kind of
worm
like
in his
a,
spacesuit.
like a superhero's outfit, from the 90s.
So
Well, Bucky O'Hare was
hold
a
on, so
rabbit in a
what's-
space boot.
What's a character?
No, Bucky O'Hare was a humanoid rabbit.
Yeah, but they piloted a giant...
He didn't need a suit to make him magical. Him and his friends.
No, but they
were already
flew a
creatures.
giant space boot.
Yeah.
Their ship was a boot. So I think 90s was popularised by animals in items of clothing
Like
Thundercats.
Star Fox.
that were magical.
Thundercats.
That were magical. So
Yeah.
what's the inherently children's character of the last 10 years?
It's difficult.
Yo Gabba Gabba.
You
The
can't say that.
Teletubbies in the Night Garden.
Teletubbies? How old is a Teletubbies?
Oh no, Teletubbies
It's like
is from the late
90s.
90s.
There's no way when you're living in a decade that you can say
What do kids
memorable
like? They like
things from that
Jake the
decade.
Pirate and stuff now, don't they?
Yeah, Dora the Explorer.
Dora the Explorer.
That might be, aiming a
SpongeBob.
bit young.
See now, SpongeBob was quite 90s.
No,
wasn't he?
SpongeBob's
What a-
been around for like 15 years now.
And he's
No, but
al-
what
and
if
he's always been
13-year-olds... what if 13-year-olds watch, 5 years ago? I don't know if
The
I'm
only
in
way
touch
is
with that
Essex.
demographic.
The only way is Essex.
Because it would have been like 13-year-olds
Well, yeah, but hold on,
watching Earthworm Jim.
we've been
surely.
playing video games for the last. We've been playing video games for the last 10 years. What characters came up in the last 10 years? That were
Pokemon
inherently
still.
to the time. Still Pokemon.
Oh, and Minecraft.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's been
Minecraft.
basically just been Minecraft.
Who's
non-stop.
just Steve? Steve
Disney-
is the character. That's how bored characters have got now. It's just Steve.
Disney Infinity and Skylanders. How long have they been going? Like
Skylanders.
5
Been
years
going-
now. 5, 6
Skylanders
years.
is
Been going for a
interesting.
while.
It is interesting. The Pokemon model seems to have become even more widespread now with Skylanders and Amiibos. Something about collecting sets, but that was always happening.
Oh, God, if they did
monsters
a-
in my pockets and
if
all
they
those
did a
Mighty
Pokemon-
Maxes. People love collecting crap.
If they did a Pokemon game where you could collect the figurines, and then you could put. Oh,
They should do a Pokemon
I wouldn't
game.
have
I
any
would be
money.
surprised if Game Freaks didn't do that. To be honest with you,
They've kind of started.
I think someone
with,
did it like themselves manually or something stupid.
with a Pokemon Rumble game that came out last year that I got free with the Wii U. You got a special Pokeball and it had a Pokemon in it that you could connect to the Wii U, and then that Pokemon would be in the game. But you could, so it was like the Amiibo concept. It was
Yeah.
It was so that they could
Came
test.
with a Pokemon.
Yeah, it was so that they could test how the technology worked without actually officially releasing anything.
What, the technology that allows them to create Pokemon?
No, so it's a figurine with a data chip
Is that
inside.
a type?
Stop it, James.
Figurine.
Stop it.
Does that have
Stop
the
it.
move Fly so I can get
Stop
to
it.
Cerulean City? Because
I was
I've wanted
trying
to
to
go
say
there
something interesting.
for like the last 10 years.
No, I'm not talking anymore.
James, it was obviously
Not talking
Magikarp in the Pokeball. Because
I
That's
wish
they were giving everyone the best Pokemon.
they
We'll
weren't.
give everyone a
They were giving away
Magikarp.
rubbish
If I got-
Pokemon. I got Litwick.
What's Litwick?
It's a candle.
Professor Litwick.
Hey, I thought that was a
Candle.
professor in Harry Potter.
That's
it's a candle.
That's Flitwick.
Do you mean that one from Beauty and the Beast?
That's Lumiere.
That had a name.
yeah.
Yes, he was called Lumiere.
When do they talk to that candle? He doesn't need a name.
What you guys? What
He
you,
was a man.
Don't give him a
Who got
name.
turned in? He was the candles.
What kind of man gets turned into a candle?
This program has gone off the rails.
I was reading the plot to Earthworm Jim and I've completely lost what the hell you lot are talking about.
We're talking about how an idiot gets turned into a candle.
The San told a story about how she got a Pokemon, and I asked how the technology had evolved
Okay,
to
no,
that
don't.
point.
Please don't. I don't need to. Yeah, I don't care anymore. Earthworm Jim. What else can we say about Earthworm Jim? What about music? Very, very well respected composer.
The
Tommy
theme tune for the TV
Tallarico?
show was really
yeah.
good.
Who said Tom? Who just said that?
Me. Of course
your,
it was
your
me.
knowledge of composers is fantastic.
He was at
in video
he does the
games.
video
He's-
games live thing that we went to.
Yeah, Tommy Tallarico has won loads of awards for his video games.
I think it's
Obviously, he did MDK, Advent Rising, Tony Hawk's Prince of Persia, Another World, Wild 9, Unreal.
it's
Cool
just regular
Spot,
butt rock,
Spider-Man.
isn't it? It's
Brilliant.
It's the same as the rest of the game.
I
Butt
heard.
rock. What's butt rock?
It's like trashy, pointless.
Did you
guitar
actually say
noise.
butt rock?
Yeah.
I thought you said pop rock.
No.
I heard some music.
Nickelback.
I heard some
Oh,
music
yeah.
during the game that I recognised, and I think I realised it's because it was in the
It's-
collection of like great video game music I used to listen to. That was just a collection of like greatest hits, I suppose, but put together by someone on the internet. And I recognised that from that, so I'm pretty sure the music in Earthworm Jim is excellent, despite what James is saying about butt rock.
Well, if it's on a list, then it must be.
I really love the genre butt rock now.
I
That's
like.
a good name.
I think
like
they
the
play it with
music.
their
I thought it
butts.
was alright. And I thought the sound effects weren't grating. They were okay. Like his yow and all this stuff. Like
Yeah, that was voiced
all
by the
crap.
guy who drew the character.
Yeah.
Back then, the person who draws the character can also voice him.
Yeah.
But now that we have a high audio quality, I guess you can't do that anymore. You need to pay a professional voice actor.
Have you seen the guy who does Mario's voice?
Yeah.
Have you seen his account?
Did he not die
on social
recently?
media?
No.
I thought he died about a
Still.
year ago.
No,
Charles Martinet.
that would have
Oh, right.
been massive
Sorry, no,
news.
Wait, let me just check. Keep talking.
Oh god!
Go to ischarlesmartinedeadyet.com.
But I really like.
That'll
Hasn't
tell
he?
you.
Hasn't he done a couple of vines where he's got some Mario and Luigi figurines and he's made them talk? Obviously, because he does their voices in the games.
It's
And
funny
he's made them talk to each other.
because some
Hasn't
people.
he done? Was they on vines?
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but with some people, it's like if they were constantly throughout their life identified as like this one character that's almost mute, they might get a bit annoyed at some point. I like that he, in his old age, is still so excited about it.
Yeah.
He's like releasing videos online pretending to be those
God.
characters.
Yeah.
and
I
not
think
being
if you're in that
He loves
position, you
it.
realise that that's the only fame you can get
That's
because
the
you're the
only
voice
thing
of
you have
Mario.
left.
But it
The thing
reminds
is,
me
no one
of-
knows what he looks like. Everyone just
there are
knows his
pictures of
voice,
him.
so he, but walking
Yeah,
down the
normally,
street,
yeah.
he doesn't get mobbed, does he?
No.
It's only if he does the voice and says the catchphrase that people will be like, "Oh my god, you do a really good impression of Mario," and he's like, "No, I'm the real one." And it's like,
You're right. Yeah, he's still alive. Although I have just found
thanks
out
for that.
from like going through the Wikipedia path that Captain Lou Albano died in 2009.
Who is that?
Who the
He was
hell
like
is
a
that?
wrestling manager and stuff, and he was the original voice
a
of Mario
wrestling
on the
manager.
Super Mario Brothers Super Show. I didn't know he was dead. Oh, that's depressing. I hate when you suddenly realise someone's dead. You thought,
Hang on, why are you now depressed about it? You already thought this was a fact.
No, I didn't know he died. Captain Lou Albano from WWF. I hate when I find out WWF wrestlers die. But I don't know Charles Martinez. I don't care about him. But, like the other day when I remembered that Leslie Nielsen died. I forgot he died. I was like,
Who died?
Leslie Nielsen.
Oh.
I forgot he died. I was like, oh crap, Leslie Nielsen's dead.
Yeah, but he'd look proper bad now. If he was still alive, you wouldn't want to look at him.
He'd be wrinkled.
He was old in the 80s.
Yeah, he had jet white hair.
Old?
Yeah, he was.
We had white hair in the 80s.
He just went white hair early, like Philip Schofield.
Yeah, he looked proper old even at a young
Philip Schofield
age.
stopped dyeing his hair and made a conscious decision to go grey. There were articles about it.
But no, it's the same. The whole was it Chris Martin? What's his first name? Mario's voice.
Chris Martinez.
Charles. Is it actually Charles?
Yeah.
Chris Martin's the lead singer of Coldplay.
Not
And
Chris
the
Martin.
voice of Mario. The guy is talented.
But him
Plus he
putting...
manages to put up with Gwyneth Paltrow somehow.
No, they broke up.
Oh, sweet. Oh, that's...
No, they didn't break up. They had a
What happened to
mutual
Apple?
decision to separate.
Apple and Moses.
Did they split Apple?
No, Moses parted them.
Hey!
Chris Martin jokes all day. But no, it reminds me, although much more sad, of the voice actor who did Duke Nukem. I think he's like John St. John or something.
St. John,
He was getting paid.
Good
wasn't he,
name.
to do lines.
He also did some for Dota 2.
Yeah, he put up a a website. It's the website. It's the newspaper of the future. He put up a website saying that you could pay him to record lines for your
that's
voicemail and stuff, which is kind of rock bottom if you're a famous voice actor.
Oh, really? It's a bit of money on the side, isn't
And
it?
it doesn't
No,
take
because
long to do.
he wasn't getting any work. That's the point.
Oh, right.
How much was he charging?
I think it wasn't very high.
$100
We could have
a
got
word.
him.
We could have got him.
Just do retrograde. Just say retrograde.
I think that's the point. Once we can get the voice of Duke Nukem, we don't want him anymore.
What do you expect? Was he going to be like a big?
It's like
He's
with
the
women.
voice of Duke Nukem. That's not a huge accolade. Like the guy who done the EA Sports is in the game. He's just some random dude working in a like pharmacy somewhere.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of sad
Do you
when
know
a
who
guy.
works in a pharmacy?
I haven't seen it on Reddit.
What I'm saying is, it's kind of sad when a guy can't get any extra work and has to rely on an old voice he did for an old character to get
maybe
money.
so-
So
Don't go into
annoying when
voice
rich,
acting.
famous people aren't rich and famous enough to not have to work like the rest
Yeah,
of
it's like,
us.
don't go into voice acting then.
Yeah,
It's going to be
guys.
aggressively competitive.
Not voice like that.
Like when I
surely.
started getting the people to do the voiceover from that Fiverr website, and there was that one guy that got really arsey with me because I spelt the word 1993 1993 is in numbers. He was like, that's actually
scumbag.
should be 4 different letters and it goes over your limit of 50 words. I was like, just say 1993. Good lord.
And this proves your point about John St. John, the voice of Duke Nukem.
If I was him, I would have recorded it, but then said 1993. Then he'd have had
know
the
that.
last laugh.
We should really talk a bit more about Earthworm Jim, although we're running quite late in the show. So does anyone have any final thoughts on Earthworm Jim?
I quite enjoy how quirky it is because, I mean, I know this is going to sound silly talking about the 90s, but there weren't many games that were aggressively quirky or weren't enough for my
Aggressively
liking.
quirky.
Yeah, and this game was, I really
Look how
enjoyed.
quirky I am.
Anti-quirky!
It's really
Look at my shoes.
it's blasting quirky in your face, but I really enjoyed the cow you launch because at first you think it's just a random joke they're making, like being overly quirky. You jump on the thing, it's this
Payoff is so much later.
cow
The
launch.
cow at the very start.
Yeah.
Yeah, cow launch, and you think, what was that about? It's just a quirky joke. And then you get to the end, and the cow comes back into it, and he just
This
sort of,
isn't a joke, it's a metaphor for life.
you think you're fine launching a cow one day, and then you realise several levels later that your
It will
princess
kill
dies.
the one you love.
Yeah.
Every action has consequences.
I guess, yeah. But you know that they spend so long on that joke for the payoff because most people probably wouldn't have seen it. They wouldn't have completed
I
it.
couldn't find any evidences for this as well, but I would imagine launching a cow is a bit of a nod towards Monty Python. Because I'm pretty sure in the Holy Grail, don't they lob a cow over
Yeah,
the walls of
they-
the thing and
they
it lands
catapult
straight
it.
on him? And I think that's a nod to, in my opinion, I think that was a nod towards Monty Python. Maybe I'm just wrong.
They also
but, yeah.
ended one of their movies, I think it was The Meaning of Life, with the foot coming down and squashing them all,
Yeah.
and that was the end of it. And that's kind of similar to the cow ending of Earthworm Jim as well.
I mean, you can see a lot of references in this game. Well, not references, but maybe homages.
Well, I mean, even just the way the gun fires is just, it sounds like it's so like aggressively over explosion on his laser pistol and stuff. It just reminds me of any film, basically.
I mean,
That was a terrible point.
That's just to make it more cartoon-esque, really.
the whip reminded me of Castlevania, but I don't think they were going for that just because it's it's not an obvious joke. It's quite a clever joke that he pulls his own body out of the suit to use it as a whip.
Yeah.
So I don't think they were thinking, let's just steal the attack from
That's
Castlevania.
kind of eerie though, because then if his body is out of the suit,
Who's controlling the suit? Yeah.
Is the suit choosing to use this guy's entire body as a weapon?
I think he
for
sort
its
of
own ends?
he sort of sets the controls. It does the action, and that's why you have to wait for the animation to finish because he can't control it mid animation anyway.
I just realised it kind of starts up the combat style of Devil May Cry a little bit with the shooting and the whipping.
Yeah, this game was early inspiration for Devil May Cry.
There's shooting and there's whipping, and in Devil May Cry there's shooting and there's whipping.
And he
And there's a sword
Then
I'm going somewhere with
50
this.
Shades of Grey.
and he used his head as a helicopter.
in Devil May Cry. Yeah,
So this game is Devil May Cry.
right, but there's no whip in Devil May
10
Cry.
out of 10. No, there is a whip in Devil May Cry.
There's a sword.
No, there's a whip.
Did you not find the whip, Anthony? Even I found the whip.
It's quality content on this show. It's getting great.
And in God of War there's a whip but no guns.
Yeah, so this game inspired both Devil May Cry and God of War. You're right.
It's the 90s. I mean, at some point,
Go on.
at some point, they all blend together. I mean, it very little identifies this game over so many of its peers. It's the quirky platform with a slight variation, number 7.
It's almost ironic how it tries so hard to be different and ends up blurring itself into all of the other
Exactly.
crazy,
It's like-
quirky characters. When you have a room full of people that are all trying to be different, they all end up the same.
No, listen, I disagree. I think Cool Spot was a great game. I'm glad we decided to discuss it.
I didn't get your joke then. I was like, okay, he's getting angry. I haven't got any.
going up on one again.
I haven't really got any other trivia that's interesting about it. Trivia, apart from the fact that I thought it was interesting. David Perry still owns, obviously the head designer and creator and stuff, still owns the rights to Earthworm Jim.
Then
We
who
haven't seen it.
designed the body?
Some artist called Nick Brolte drew him. I'm not going to acknowledge your joke.
James is silently in hysterics, guys.
If I
He
don't
can't-
acknowledge it didn't happen.
he finds it so funny, he can't even
I have
make
found my niche,
laughs.
Anthony. I have found my niche.
It is.
good show,
So yeah,
everyone.
let's move into the retrograde part of the show. That was really creepy. Retrograde. That's what I should have gone for. And Anthony chose this. How are we grading this?
Things that live underground, almost exclusively.
Oh.
Everyone's going to choose mole in about 5 seconds.
Oh no, that's
No,
not
because
what
I got to think of
going
something
for.
rubbish that lives underground.
Well, there are different kinds of moles, so you can all choose a different kind of mole if you want.
I'm going to go for a groundhog, typically found in America. And like the movie Groundhog Day, this game is also quite repetitive of all other 2D platformers that have ever come before, with its own quirky spin, quirky inverted commas, quirky spin on the genre.
Shouldn't they
Groundhog.
call it the Underground Hog?
Yeah, probably.
Should.
I'm.
Probably. But this game is nowhere near as legendary as Groundhog Day, the movie.
Especially since the other one's called an overground hog.
Yeah.
It's kind of pointless if you're going to call it a groundhog.
Yeah.
I'm going to go for a coffin because it's
A coffin isn't an
a
animal.
nice box. Does it have to be an animal?
Did you say things found under the ground or animals?
I said the things that live underground, but you can go for
things
coffin.
that live.
Coffin because it's it just wilts
dead.
away. It just
Damn,
dies.
I was going to go for coffin.
It just destroys and
do zombie,
dissolves after
James.
time, and no one really cares about
Wait,
it.
you will-
It looks pretty and nice, and it served a purpose at one point, but then it just got buried, and it was like, forget about it.
Surely that is the purpose of the coffin. What purpose is it serving before it gets buried?
Well, it's there to look nice, isn't it? It's just there to be like
At the
a coffin.
funeral.
You don't want a dead body just lying on a table.
I think Jack's point is that its burial is inevitable, like this game's.
No, that wasn't my point at all.
James, you're,
He just gave you a good out. Take
I
it.
had a great out.
No, you didn't.
I always have an out.
my version of your point was way better than your
Jack
version of
just
your point.
leapt out the window.
I always have an escape plan.
Wait,
James.
you were also going to go for coffin because I was also going to go for. I was also going to go for coffin.
guys. We need to stop
weren't.
doing this.
You're just winding me out. Carry on.
Axe.
You're not as creative as me.
Have you gone yet?
I know I haven't. I can't.
God, yeah.
Cool.
No, he's still here, James.
I'm going to go for a mole, even though I made that as a joke, as what we were all going to go for because
You did that, so none of us would pick it.
obviously reverse psychology
That was
all of
good.
you.
Damn it!
You tricked me.
He
Yeah.
reversal psychologized us.
Don't like that.
I tricked you into going for coffin,
Get out of my head.
but you won't believe what James says. I've tricked him into doing something as well. I'm going to go for mole because, like a mole, this game is pretty cute, but like a mole, it's also pretty boring because it
Moles
just
aren't cute.
moles are
Those
definitely
are well
cute.
cute. Badger? They're well cute.
What the hell?
That was an impression of Mole from Animals of Farming Wood. Badger.
I think you were saying badger in a weird way.
Do you remember
like,
Moley from Badger of Animals of Farming
He
Wood?
was really gross and annoying.
Wake up, Badger.
You know, he was rubbish.
is badger dead?
Rubbish.
Yeah, Badger died.
Badger gets hit on the motorway.
Yeah, and Moley's
And then-
like, Badger,
heartbreaking.
why aren't you moving?
It's awful.
Animals of Farming Wood. If I was
They're
a video-
re-releasing it. They're re-releasing it.
Oh, get out!
Jesus.
I couldn't
No,
find.
I'm
I
not
can't find
saying-
any torrents of Animals of Farming
No,
Wood.
you have to buy a DVD, Jack. It's not illegal.
No, but you would have thought someone by now would have like taken the effort to torrent.
British cartoon. You can't torrent British cartoons. No one's uploaded them.
If you go to British Cartoon Bay, you can find them all. Carefully maintained collection of British cartoons that no one wants to download.
I think has them.
I'm not googling that. I mean, might as well go to live.com.
Also,
Don't forget. No, don't.
also,
Wait, children listen to this.
yeah, warning to our viewers.
Listen to this.
Yeah,
No,
I'm
they
gonna
don't
beat.
listen anymore,
I'm gonna
they gave up
beat.
ages
I'm
ago.
gonna beat those websites.
Good.
Yeah, no one go to those websites.
Did you
It's
say
not
you're
a sort
going
of-
to beat those websites?
Beat them because so they are.
It'll make it
disgusting.
sound worse.
Shocking.
SausageNet is actually an 80s cartoon website.
Oh, is it really?
Though. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, well, as I was saying, like a
Sorry.
mole, this game is cute, but it's also a bit boring because it spends a lot of time in the dirt. Which is not really what this game does, but it's a metaphor.
Got you, James.
Is there like you know when they built the tunnel between England and France?
Yeah.
The Channel Tunnel.
When did they do that?
That was in the mid-90s.
Yeah, something
Mid
like that.
'90s. They must have hired guys to go down and do it, right?
These big machines.
Yes.
And so they went really far under the ground.
Yeah, we had spades.
I'm gonna.
That's why the tunnels were off.
So
Let's fix it.
one of those guys. My choice is one of those guys who does his job really well. He goes down and digs all the tunnel and everything, and starts to build it, and he does good.
Mm-hmm.
But then he comes back up to the surface, and he goes to a party of a friend of his named Sam, and the party's in a big house.
Wait, the party's named Sam.
You know, the friend.
No, the friend whose party it is.
Bad grammar.
Silly, you're being silly. And the friend is called Sam, and he goes to Sam's party, and it's in a big house. And they go, and this is year 2015, and they go in, and it's like Daft Punk is on the music player, and he's eating chips and stuff.
Yeah.
And then he goes and talks to people, and they're like, hey, we like bands like Snow Patrol and Justice. And he's like, oh, I like Nirvana.
Yeah.
See, ironically, for someone who didn't like the game because it was just being silly for the sake of it, you've just been silly for the sake of it.
No.
Was
what
that
I've
intentional
You should be ashamed of
layer of
yourself.
irony there?
Done, what I've done, Lisanne, is put in more effort than all of you combined.
You used to make really clever jokes.
Yeah.
Did I? Did I?
Clever, sophisticated,
Jack,
mature, witty
If you
humour.
play that backwards, you'll get my real review.
Hey.
I think
Don't get it.
in a few weeks' time we'll be mulling over what James said and we'll realise nothing true has ever been said.
Well, I'm going to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go, it's just finally come to me. It was a metaphor for murder.
He eats more. He eats more of the onion
was a
rings
synonym.
than he eats more onion rings than he brought, and he didn't bring any.
Yeah, that's really good. So yeah, thanks for listening to the podcast. And you find all information
Party.
and all links regarding this podcast, as well as all other
He was the only one there.
tsicon.net. The
He
home.
died underground.
What, it was all a dream.
Is this a movie plot? It sounds like a movie.
Wait,
He was a
wait, hold
ghost
on.
the whole time.
Wait, did he ever finish? Wait, hold on. Did he ever finish the tunnel?
Guys, there is no tunnel between England and France.
The tunnel's all in your mind, Jack.
Now I want to know about
If you
this.
think about it, you understand that tunnels are impossible.
So he builds the tunnel. Does he get an onion ring and it reminds him of the tunnel? He realises he's
Guys, this language we're speaking right now doesn't even exist.
This is that moment at 4 a.m. in 2 weeks ahead when you've realised.
Oh god, that's brilliant. Well done, that's good. That went from really shit to really good. Oh, thanks for listening. You can find all the information and all links regarding this podcast, as well as all our sister podcasts at psychon.net, the home of geek culture. And just a reminder again that the Retrograde podcast is hosted on the Psychon network. So head over to Psychon, CSICON.tv, to become a patron for our show and support the network. We're going to be back in 2 weeks with Crash Team Racing.
Woo woo.
You chose that, Dan?
I did.
PS1?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not PS2, is it? Yeah, PS1.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, I really loved that game.
It's a good game.
I've never played it, but sorry.
Spoilers?
I meant to say really loved that game, as in it's really loved, but I just,
Without spoiling anything, it's a good game and it's aged well.
Sweet.
So James doesn't need to come to the next episode.
If you could think up your metaphor
'Cause he's
of
done
what
it.
you're going to review it
He's
as
done it.
next time,
If you think up a metaphor beforehand, it's not a metaphor.
Is that true? No. Oh, damn it.
How do you think books get written, Jack? By thinking beforehand what you're going to write about?
No.
I had to explain to one of my students today the difference between a book and a play. Because she was like, no, but the play, it's in a book. I'm like, no, a book is a novel. What? Foreign language, she didn't know.
Her logic is sound. It's in a book.
But it's called a play. It's not called a book.
but it's in a book.
It's really the difference between a novel and a play you were discussing, because they're both in
exactly.
books. Unless it's on stage.
But that's it, but I had to explain to her the concept of a book. She didn't get...
Have you taught
She's
her...
EAL though, so... English is an additional language. English isn't her first language.
Have you taught her yet how the dictionary is the best play ever written?
No.
You should tell her that, because she's
I'm waiting till
won't
next year to
understand.
do Dictionary the Musical with them.
So Zizical did it.
I was going to say zebra.
Right, but that's an old joke, and I made it better by saying Zizical, which is not a real word as far as I know, but I don't know what the last word in the dictionary is.
I thought you were doing a play on Seussical the Musical.
What?
There's a musical about
We've all
Dr.
taken
Seuss
something
called
very
Seussical.
different from
Come on, guys. I've got one more line to say before we can end this podcast. Come on.
Okay, go.
Tell me about Zizical the Musical.
I don't know, I haven't seen it, I just know it exists.
Oh, right, okay, cool.
I was making a reference to a play that even Lizanne hasn't seen as a joke for our popular culture podcast.
That's awesome. So yeah, thanks for listening. It's goodbye from me, Jack Marshall. Goodbye from Anthony Hobday.
Goodbye.
Goodbye from Zan Fisher.
Bye.
And a goodbye from James McFadden.
If you don't understand without an explanation, you won't understand with one.